Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today I got another build for you, this one being the Exploding Frostbite Totems on the Shaman in Spriggan Form. And this is a very fast-paced build in which you have lots of movement speed. As a Spriggan, we won't have a movement skill, but you have increased movement speed for being in Spriggan Form, which allows us to just go really quick. And then we just summon our healing totems, which use the Thorn totem tree, and we basically want to cast them as fast as possible. You don't need cast speed for the totems themselves, so we won't be scaling at minion cast speed. We just want a bunch of cast speed for us so that we spam them as fast as possible, and every time that those healing totems or Thorn totems are procced, they automatically shoot out Thorns if there's enemies nearby, and they automatically explode on death. So if we just cast them as fast as possible, you just have a constant stream of Thorns coming out and explosions from the totems themselves because they're dying off, and that gives us rage back every time they die as well. So you have basically unlimited rage. It'll always be full. Whenever you get in trouble, you'll just do Thorn Barrier a couple times, which uses the Eterra's blessing, and that can heal you. It'll give you all your resistances. We get our resistances from just having totems out as well. And overall, you do a ton of minion damage, but through your own cast speed and exploding totems, which is really cool. So let's go ahead and get into the skills and the build itself and just how it works. For skills, I'm running Eterra's Blessing, Spriggan Form, Summon Thorn Totem, Summon Spriggan, and Maelstrom. For Eterra's Blessing, we're proccing this every time that we use the Thorn Barrier while we're in Spriggan Form. We use it to heal us. It does give us some resistance, but basically to heal us and to help revive our Spriggan faster, as our Spriggan pet can die quite often, especially in high corruption. So we've got 3 points in Improved Blessing, 1 point in Purge, 2 points in Conservation, 1 point in Rosebloom so that Thorn Shield will use Eterra's Blessing when we cast it, 4 points in Ardent Touch, 4 points in Binding Heal so that we're healed. Even if we're healing someone else, it'll self-heal us for some as well, so you can always count on getting some life back. 2 points in Encourage, 1 point in Swift Recovery so that you replenish 30% of the downtime left on a companion when you use it to help revive them, and the last 2 points in Safeguard for that Elemental and Poison Resist. For Spriggan Form, we have this set up to make our healing totems use the Thorn Totem skill tree, and then we just build into a lot of defense. So we've got 4 points in Totem Warden so that we can summon our healing totems 60% faster, which basically is 60% cast speed, so that we can spam our healing totems or Thorn totems much faster. 1 point in Spiked Totems so that the Thorn Totem tree benefits healing totems. 3 points in Unbound Garden so we can have additional max totems, plus 3. We can have up to 5 of them in the setup that we have. Then we've got 5 points in Iron Bank for flat armor and increased armor while in Spriggan Form, 2 points in Deep Roots, 2 points in Eterra's Bulwark, and these ones you can switch around, but I've got 1 in Spike Burst, 1 in Stinging Bramble, and that's to put points into Glacial Grove, so that when we use our Thorn Barrier, we have a chance to proc Maelstrom. There wasn't really much else to do. You could get rid of Maelstrom and just do Ice Thorns when you get hit, and get rid of these 3 points and build into something else. I stayed away from the introspection, because when Thorn Shield can only target us, it won't heal your companion to help revive them, so I stayed out of this 1 point, although this is nice to make sure that it hits you. For Summon Thorn Totem, we've got 2 points in Teutonic Wisdom, 2 points in Memories of Eterra, 2 points in Venom Tipped Thorns, 3 points in Lasting Affliction, and 1 point in Nightshade Briar. This is so that you can get to 30 stacks of Frostbite, and it's going to give you 120% more damage, which is really easy to do on single targets. 1 point in Rotten Core so that you have that burst. This also changes the spell damage from physical into cold, so that it's cold physical spell damage on that hit, which is what we're really building for. So having this conversion with the 1 point in Pillars of Herod is really nice to apply extra Frostbites and do extra hit damage. And don't forget that the 2 points in Memories of Eterra, you want this mana back because the healing totems, when they're unsummoned or they die, they'll give you this mana back as rage. That's what keeps your rage completely full. Then we have 1 point in Torrent of Thorns, 4 points in Lethal Thicket for all that crit chance, 3 points in On Austral Winds for the spell damage increase, and 5 points in Winterwood for that flat spell cold damage, which really boosts the build. You do get flat damage in a couple other spots, but this really helps. For the Summon Spriggan Form, we're using this for the Critical Strike Avoidance as well as base crit chance, which is really nice. You don't have to have it, you don't even have to run the pet, but it is nice. It also heals you when it's around and alive. So we've got 5 points in Aura of Life, 1 point in Aura of Loyalty, 2 points in Aura of Kinship, And then 4 points in Aura of Retribution for that base crit chance and crit avoidance, which will also apply to your Thorn totems when it's close by, which can give you 100% crit really easily. 5 points in Arboreal Vitality gives your Spriggan a ton more life, and 4 points in Warding Perk for that defense, for that physical res, and flat armor form. And then for Maelstrom again, which only gets procced when we are using Thorn Shield, we have 3 points in Whirlpool, 1 point in Turbulence, 4 points in Calm, 1 point in Windswept, and 1 point in Wind Fury. This will give you some extra cast speed and haste so you can move even faster if you get to 6 stacks. You can build into it through your passives or for the implicit on Relic or even Idols to have it proc a certain amount of times or have a chance to every second, in which case you can get to 6 stacks, but I just didn't go that route on this one. Then 3 points in Sleep Footed, 1 point in Power of the Storm, 1 point in Strong Tides, 2 points in Arctic Chill, and 3 points in Healing Winds for that extra healing. Again, we really just don't use this skill. This is just how I have it spec'd. For the Primalist base class, I've got 30 points with 8 of them in Natural Attunement, 6 in Wisdom of the Wild, 5 in Hunter's Restoration, 5 points in Berserker for that less damage taken on low life, and then 5 points in Elder Branch for that Totem spell damage, which will boost its damage. For the Beastmaster, 13 points for the damage reduction, 8 in 𝐒𝐿 Strength, and 5 in Boarheart. For the Shaman, our Mastered class, we got our 43 points in there, with 5 in Sky Warrior, 2 in Silent Protector, 5 in Teutonic Fury because we want to have that cast speed with us and we'll always have totems active, 8 points in Fate Carver for that totem damage, and then 10 points in Storm Elder for that minion cold damage, 8 points in Rune of Awe for that minion spell damage, and then the 5 points in Protective Circle so we get resistance and elemental resistance per active totem. And since we have 5 active totems, you get 75% physical and elemental resist from this just by itself. And then our last points all go into the Druid with 7 in Shitness Plating, 1 in Thicket of Thorns, 5 in Wind in the Leaves for that cast speed for us, 7 points in Blessed Springs, and then 5 points in River Spirits so that our minions get that 40% Frostbite chance, which will add to what the skill tree is giving them, so they should apply Frostbite every hit that they do. And then for the character sheet, as you can see here, our resistances don't look like they're covered, but again, when we have all of our totems active, you're going to be capped on the elemental and physical. We can have more totems active when we're in Spriggan form, so all of these will be capped. Also, whenever you use Eterra's Blessing, that will also give you poison and elemental resist, so you're going to be covered because you'll always have totems going. We also have a bunch of armor, which when we go into Spriggan form here, you can see that gets boosted up. And just to throw the totems out for you here, you can see you're capped on all of them really easily. You'll always have the totems active. I do need a little bit of void, but we're okay there. And then we have our critical strike avoidance, and our endurance is almost capped. We just need to seal a couple of fixes to finish this one off. And then for the inventory, the main things that you really want here, you just want to go with a ton of cast speed for you. On the weapon, you want to go with the Horned Staff for the +1 to all minion skills. The cast speed, get tier 6, tier 7 cast speed on it would be perfect. And then minion spell damage. You don't really need the minion physical damage, it doesn't hurt, there's nothing else to really put there, but the minion spell damage is huge. On your chest, you want added spell damage for totems. You can also get totem critical strike increase. For your death rattle, you want minion damage with that minion critical strike. And then also importantly is the Jor's Obsession. The cast speed on this is really nice. You don't care that the cast speed is applied to the minions, you just want that spell damage for your totems. But the cast speed for you, again, you want as much cast speed as possible. You can see here that we're rocking 150%, which is also unbuffed. When we have a totem active, that'll actually go up as well. If you have 6 stacks of Maelstrom, it'll go up even higher. You can break 200%, which is crazy. And then for your good old idols, make sure that you get base critical strike chance for totems and increased minion critical strike chance. 2 of these is really going to help you get to 100% crit with those totems really easily. Everywhere else you can fit in resistances, health, whatever you want in the rest of the spots. And then for how to play this build, it's really simple. In Spriggan form, all you have to do is spam your totems. And when you spam them, you'll get your resistance. You can see that every time that we summon them, they're firing off their thorns and they are exploding. So we're getting tons and tons of hits. And then with our Spriggan up, we do have 100% crit in this build, which just gives you some really good hits. Now we're critting anywhere from 20 to 50k on the dummy, which will do 2 to 5k on enemies, which is really nice. You can see we also have our 150 stacks of Frostbite on single target, which is pretty good, even though we're not really built into it too hard, other than just what the skill tree has and the one passive node we took. But you also notice you never run out of rage, and you're also getting healed because these are healing totems. So as long as you stay close, your health is going to stay full, you'll have good survivability off of that, and that's all you have to do. You literally just summon them and you go. And you know, you move pretty fast. If you want to, you can throw in a Silver Fond Ring and turn vines into a teleportation skill so that you have a movement skill ability, but I just didn't feel the need because we had such great movement with this. And that's it, that's all you do. You just spam your totems. It sounds like a machine gun when it's going off, and that's it. That's going to be it for this guide. I'm going to leave you guys with some gameplay. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below the next build that you'd like to see, or a leveling guide. I do plan on streaming tonight, and I'll be doing a 1-2-76 for either the Rogue doing Ballista for the Marksman, or we're going to end up doing a Shaman leveling guide because we haven't done one in a really long time, and we're going to do Thorn Totems for it. So let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see, and we'll get that started here in a bit. As always, stay safe, and have a good one.
𝐷